we should, before I answer the question, let me say that Julian is Nordica's first baby. So the question is very appropriate coming from him.
Okay.
Yes. How do I feel? Really, I just feel like a vessel used by God, and that's all. There's no chips. There's nothing about it. God just, it's mercy and grace that God has extended and used just any vessel. It could have been anybody. Why he chose that it's me, I don't know. So I just feel that, yeah, it's a nice feeling to for God to have used me to make it possible for people to have children. If especially when we put it in context, you know, by the time we started almost 23 years ago, IVF was not what it is now in Nigeria. So while it's good that some of us God used us, it's also good that we should thank people like Mrs. Owundijo too, who who came to us and had the belief that we could help them then to be able to solve the problem. So it's for me, it's a two-way thing. I'm glad that God used me, but I'm also glad that some people actually entrusted us with their hope because it's a thing of hope that they entrusted us with a thing of the hope, and for some of them, many of them, we were able to help them realize their hope. So it's still the same thing. And how do you feel? But seriously, it's still the same. I feel the same way from the first day till now, that I'm just a vessel that God has decided to use.
All right, we go on to Tibe. Tibe, if you're ready, let's go. And we are on to today's link. So,
Beauty.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Happy birthday, sir, once again. So my question is, so my question is, did you ever imagine when you started your journey that one day the babies you helped bring into the world will grow up and will sit across from you asking questions like this?
Well, truth, it never crossed my mind. Okay. Uh, Maybe also, I think I'm going to be introducing some of these. I'm not going to call them, they're no longer children. They are young men and young ladies. Uti is one of the children, or the ladies now that I'll call young lady that Nordica, God helped us to help the parents. But the interesting thing is that Uti is working with us in Nordica now, doing her IT. She wants to be an embryologist. And that for me is fantastic, is a fantastic thing. And I think by God's grace, it's a joint project together that will be able to achieve that. And she's a very smart young lady. So I don't think it's going to be very difficult to achieve that. But back to your question, it never crossed my mind. But let me tell you one experience that I had before we started Nordica. Um, you know, I went to Czech Republic, and when I wanted to start, people asked me what's the difference between Ischia and Nordica. Ischia was the first company that we wanted to have a relationship with, and they happen to be in Czech Republic. If you, the Czechs were just coming out of the social enclave then. They were just coming out of the influence of Russia. Their cars were funny cars. Everything about them was socialist. And so these men were hard men, The professors, the doctors were hard men. During the week I was there, I saw something which made me to say that whatever it cost me, I must do IVF. The kids gathered around this doctor who was the head of the center. And they had like about maybe 200 kids gathered around the man. And the man saw them and he started crying, you know. There were tears of joy. And I said to myself, I want to experience this kind of thing, that one day we'll have kids gathered around us and then we'll know that God used us to make these kids come to life. And so that was one of the things that was the only thing I had in mind, that one day I was going to replicate that. But I never thought about it that one day they will be asking me questions. But I think it's also an improvement on, because this shows so many things. It's, some people asking themselves that whether IVF babies are normal babies, this puts that to bed. And some of you are in the university, uh, some of you are doing so many other things. So it's interesting, and I see this as a step forward than what I even envisaged or imagined I will experience. So yeah, it's a very good feeling that you are asking these questions, and I hope I'm able to answer you the way that you want it answered. So yes, I never thought about it, but it's definitely a good feeling. It's definitely a good feeling.
Okay, we're going straight into growing years, early years for Dr. Ajayi. And these questions that Hen, Anu, Emmanuel, and Yola will ask, and Zara explore the roots of exactly who Dr. Abayomi Ajayi is. So Henry is here. Henry, I'm there.
Oh, good evening, everyone. The interviewers, spectators, and especially Dr. Ajayi. Happy birthday. What was your childhood like growing up?
Okay. My childhood, I think, was good. The very early part of it was very good. But by the time I became 9 years old, I lost my mom. And by the time I was 14, I lost my dad. So, well, but despite it, as awful as that sounds, but seriously, I think I had very good support. I cannot say I lacked anything materially. Okay. So my growing up was decent, and I had anything that you want to have, despite the fact that I didn't have parents. I think, and that's one of the things that has shaped me to say that, look, you don't have to be somebody's biological parent to be that person's parent, you know. And I think, and it reflects in everything I do, you know. So it's not because of I want any applause from anybody, but because I'm just paying it forward, you know. What I received, okay, I think I also have to pay forward. And so that's why sometimes I have many children that are adopted, some of them willingly, some unwillingly, you know. Even sometimes I try to treat some staff like kids, my children, but sometimes it's not, you are not successful with that. But it's okay, but it's because of my own background that makes me to think like that about people, and to see that, yeah, it's good to be biological parents, but God also sends us to train other people's kids. So by and large, because despite the fact that I was an orphan from 14, I lacked nothing materially. My school, I never missed school for one day because of money. I never, nothing, nothing. So I'm so grateful to God for that.
Okay. What kind of home do you think shaped you to the person you are today?
What kind of home?
Yes.
Okay. I think to start with, I don't know whether my father knew he was going to die early. I don't know. But I think the way he brought me up from, okay, maybe because my mother died while I was 9. So we were living together most of the time. So he taught me to be independent. Okay. So by the time he died and I had to be living with my uncle, I was pretty independent at 14. You understand what I mean? So I'll say it's those lessons that really shaped me to become, and that's why you don't, nothing faces me. I'm independent, and so I think it's those early days that have just made the way for who I finally became as an adult.
Okay, so we'll move on to Andrew. Just tell your mind and the question.
Good, good evening, everyone. And happy birthday to Mr. Ajayi. As a very special day and all the moments I've led up to it, I would like to ask this question. Were you always interested in medicine, or did that dream come later in life?
That's breaking. I could not make that out. Andre, or did anybody get that?
You always interested in medicine or internet?
So it must be my own internet that is faulty. I can't hear it. I can't hear that. I can't hear that. Can you say that again, please?
Just go ahead. Hello, Joy.
I can't hear them. Hello?
We can do that. Unmute yourself. Doctor,
I heard Julian, I heard UT, I heard Henry. So maybe if any of the three of them heard the question, they can repeat it. So maybe I can.
Why did you choose that field of medicine?
Hey, why did I choose the field of medicine? Wow. Okay, is it gynecology? I mean, why did I choose gynecology? Okay, let me say something that when I was about, let's say 12 in Form 2, Form 3, actually wanted to be an aeronautic engineer because up till now, I'm fascinated by aeroplanes. And but one day somebody told me something. Till now, I really don't know whether it's true because I never wanted to find out. He said because I started using my glasses since I was in Form 1. So he said, look, if you have bad eyesight, nobody will trust you with a plane. And that made me to, oof, it was. I visited Luth. They just came to my school. I think I was in Form 3. They came to my school and they were looking for hits to do exercise ECG, distress ECG. You do exercise, they test your heart. So I was one of those chosen in my school. So, and immediately I entered the Idiaraba for the first time in my life. And I saw medical students and they were putting on this small white coats. And immediately something just told me, this is where you belong. And and so that was how I chose to do medicine. Okay. So it was so funny. By the time we were the first set of JAM in 1978, we were the first set of people to do JAM. And my choice was medicine, medicine, medicine. First, second, third choice. Medicine, medicine, medicine. Because I was convinced that's what I came here to do. And by the time I was doing medicine, again, I was just in class doing O&G. And somebody just told me, this is again what you have to do out of medicine. And that was it. And I discovered that even without reading, I can pass O&G. So that was how I decided to become a gynecologist. Apart from, okay, there was also a personal tragedy, but that had happened. My mother died during childbirth. So in my mind, said I was going to help people who are going through childbirth. You understand? But now when I was just in that class and that thing just told me that, look, this is what, then we used to have very funny lecturers. So there was this man who would come in, one of our lecturers, blessed memory now, who will come to tell you when you are preparing for exam, medical school exam, when you are preparing, some people even run mad or during the preparation. And then this man will now hold a lecture, how to fail an exam. That's the titles his lecture, how to fail an exam. So, but during his lecture, as he was talking, he just said something. And somebody told me that that's your number one question. And I told my friends, I said, what he just said is number one question. And lo and behold, during the exam, that was not one question. So, and that's the way my life had been. So when it came, I was doing the O&G thing in Ibadan, in UCH Ibadan. I was doing my O&G residency. And then we used to you have a posting where you go for surgical posting. And there we see male infertility. We gynecologists, we still female infertility. The urologists, they treat male infertility in those days. And so I was there also. And then these people will come in, accomplished men will come in, all because they want to have babies. And the professor will tell them that there's nothing they can do. And you see these men start crying. And I said, look, there must be something that we can do about this. And so I started reading. I saw that IVF had started. But of course, nobody had heard about IVF in this part of the world. So I think the first time that I decided I was going to do IVF was 1982. No, sorry, not 1982, 1992. Because the first baby, IVF baby, was 1978. But what we thought about in Nigeria then was that you can't even think about IVF. There is no light, there is no water, no, especially if you worked in government hospitals. But 1992, we did a search. Somebody, you have to mute. Sorry, if we're not talking, you have to mute. So we did a tubal surgery for one of our patients. And the woman was very close to all of us, doctors. I was under Professor Adewole's unit then, the former health minister. So we were doing the surgery, myself and himself. And this woman, when we saw the tubes, the two of us looked at ourselves and we said, what? We felt very sorry for her because we thought there was nothing we could do for her. The tubes were damaged. So that made me to even conclude that, look, I needed to do IVF. But I'd never seen IVF before, all this time. That it was not possible in Nigeria. So, and I didn't even have the money to go for the training because then the training was only done in one place in the UK. And the cost was, I think, if I remember very correctly, it was £25,000 then. And I was just a doctor resident doctor, £25,000, even my whole salary for the whole year, untouched, could not come near it. So it was not something I could. So I applied to the university to sponsor the course for me. Of course, I was turned down. Then the government had this scholarship that they were giving then. So I went to the Minister for National Development and I told him I wanted to do this. His name is Alhaji Abubakar Alhaji, used to be called Triple A. I'm sure if you would know him. So, and the man looked at me and said, Dr. Ajayi, infertility is not a problem in Nigeria. Of course, I could understand where he was coming from. The man probably had 4 wives and had many children, so he didn't see infertility as a problem. But I persisted that that was what I wanted to do, and I didn't have the money. So when I finished my training in Ibadan in 1994, I came back to Lagos, and I was looking for a hospital that would be interested in IVF. And well, I saw that the people who told me that they were interested, they just wanted to use it to trap me. But so after a while, I needed to eat, so I took a job, and I was doing the job. There was no sight of doing IVF until one day, I think it was 2001. Internet had just started trickling into Nigeria. We used to go to cyber cafe to do the surfing there. And I joined one group. Who are the OBGY.N. It's a worldwide gynecologist association. So I was the representative in Nigeria. And so this guy was looking for who was interested in doing IVF training. So that's how I got to the Czech Republic. So the guys were Jews, they were in Czech Republic, and they were looking for her to see whether they could opportunity. You call it luck. But here was I've been looking for her to do IVF. Here was this guy trying to see who they could collaborate with in Africa. And so when he sent the mail to me, I can't remember how I answered the mail, but from the way I answered the mail, the guy just said, "We found the guy," And that was how they were the ones actually who invited me to Czech Republic. They bought my ticket, and I went to Czech Republic. So it was in Czech Republic I saw IVF. And but after that trip, I knew we could not do business with them because it was so difficult getting to the Czech Republic at that point in time. Actually, it was Slovak Republic. You had to get to Czech Republic before you go to Slovak Republic. There was a country called Czechoslovakia that had broken down into two, Czech Republic and Slovak Republic. So they had the headquarters in Czech, but they had where I was going to in Slovak. So, but between Czech and Slovak, I was the only black man on the train, on the plane. So when I got to the airport, short of being quarantined, they just told me to sit down, and I could not use the phone. This was 19. This was two. Yeah, this was 2001. Yeah, They said no, I couldn't use the phone. Fortunately, the IVF clinic is the only one in the place in the country then. So they had come to welcome me. So they brought this card to say, well, to just identify me. And so I think the customs people now saw that. They now came back to me and said, okay, this is your name. And I said, yes. Okay, you can now enter. So and what I was looking for, where people could go and train. So, how can I take 4 or 5 people to go and train in such a place when only me to enter was a big problem? So I just told the guys that we could not do business with them. And so that's how we now had to go to Denmark to look for the people that we were going to partner with. So that's long and short of how we became to become known as a Danish company. Okay. But Iskia was the name of the company that we first registered when I was going to Slovak Republic. Does that make any sense to you? Andre, does that make any sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Great. I can hear you better now. Yeah.
I'm sorry for my connectivity issues.
Yeah. No, it's not your fault. Yeah.
Manuel, hello, Emmanuel. I'll mute Manuel's mic, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening,
Evening.
sir.
Evening. How are you?
Happy birthday.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi,
so my
Skabisi.
question is, ceasefire.
Go on.
Okay, so my question, sir.
Go on. Go on.
Okay, my question is, as a young boy, what values were you taught that still guide your life today?
Ooh, fantastic. When I hear young people talk about values, it makes me to gladdens my heart because that's one of the things I think we're missing now. We were values, when I was a young boy, values were very strong. We used to say that it takes only a couple to bring a child to the world, but it takes the entire town to train that child. So the kind of values that we had, it was not only your parents who could whoop you, we had some professional whoopers. When you misbehave, they don't take permission to whoop you, and everybody looked after everybody. You know, I remember there was a time I was even in university, and I left for Ife from Lagos, not telling anybody. And somebody saw me in Ife, and before I got home, they had known that I'd been to Ife, you know. So the values that we had were it was like every parent had the same syllabus, you know. Not everything. And of course, that the way to succeed in life is through education. Those were, and there was dignity in labor. I remember very well as a kid, maybe I was just about 3, 4, and I remember very well. The railway was still a very good transport system. And I remember we were going on the train. I don't know where we were going to, but I was just about 3, 4. And somebody was cleaning this railway station. One man was cleaning, and I did not raise my legs up, you know, for the guy to clean. I think I was just trying to be naughty. I picked my feet on the ground, and so the man can hit me with the thing, and I can complain. And my father saw it, and he gave me a terrible knock. Said, "Respect that man that is doing that job." So there was dignity in labor, whether you are the MD, whether you are the gate man, people respected you for what you did, your contribution. You know, now everything is about money, money, money. When you talk to kids now, the only thing they're talking about is how to make money. Some people don't even say, oh, Julian is here. I'm going to expose you. Julian said that 9 to 5 is not for him. You know, no, there's time for everything. You know, There's time for everything. Money will come, but you need the foundation. What I say to people, if you're not matured and you have money, that money will destroy you. You need a level of preparation for you to handle money. So don't be so, instead of developing yourself, what I see people do now is they're looking for money. Or no, see, let me tell you, when we finish medical school, some people immediately opened small shops, clinics, but they had very limited skills. The only thing they could do was treat malaria. Some of them who had house job in some general hospitals. General hospitals are very good there, and they could do minor surgeries like hernia repair. Some of them, if you're very, very, very lucky, you could do cesarean section. They started opening clinics, but all of them closed down over time because there was no skill to support what they had opened. But the people who went to do residency program who became specialists, what I'm saying is that you must develop yourself. That self-development is so, so important. That's what gives you depth. That's when you become an authority in something. Without you really being an authority in something, you become a trader finally. I'm not against traders, but what I don't like about trading is that you are not guaranteed, because you can be doing something, trading in one thing for 20 years. Somebody comes and gives a better price than you, I will run you out of business. So I'm not against trading, but think about it very well. Self-development is very, very, very important. And for you to do self-development, you have to be patient. It's not going to come in one day. So please, you must develop yourself. Does that...
Okay. Doctor, are you done?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we go because looking at the actually that's how I so move to the next stage.
Ify, I don't think my network
Hello.
likes your network.
Right. Let's on the dream and 60 understand that that's answer to the why despite he become the in the so questions and it's also about why shows to the colors that helps also in life. So I want to go to Jen now. Julian, you have another question. Love you. Julian, hello, Julian. Julian on Julian's mic so that he can go ahead with question. But
Okay,
Julian's
so
already
doctor, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Julian, we
yes.
can hear you.
Okay. Do you remember the first ever baby that was born through fertility treatment that you were involved in? And what did that moment feel like?
Well, thank you for that question. That I was involved with. The one that
Yes.
I know is the person who asked the question. And let me, now that you even asked this question, let me tell you uh, what happened that during the treatment. Um, it was our early days. Uh, uh, and the what is somebody was coming, and it was because the embryologist then was going to move from one place to go to the incubator. And somebody was coming, another embryologist was coming, a new one was coming, and almost hits this embryologist. And so probably the embryo will have been split. And that's when, after that, we now had this rule in the laboratory that when the embryologist is going to move, he says, "I'm coming." Everybody must stop in the laboratory so that we never have that kind of thing again. And the embryos, one of the embryos led to Julian. So God saved us that it was not. So yes, I think you are the first one that I can actively say I was involved with, yeah. The other maybe, well, for example, when I went for training, I probably don't know the outcome of
go
the...
into
There is a Manuela, I'll show you know. There is a Manuel, there is a Manuela.
So this that's where we are going. Now to answer to
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
And happy birthday to Doctor.
Thank you.
So my question is, many people see the joy of IVF's success story, but not the difficult moments. What have been some of your biggest challenge you faced in your field?
There are many. There's so many. Starting from, okay, bringing the equipments to Nigeria, even, when we wanted to start, bringing the equipments to Nigeria was a big challenge, even to start with. The fact that some people, when we first even started, some people said we were, our first clinic was in, at least Julian, I think that was where it was in VGC. And it was near the lagoon. It was waterfront. And some people said we are bringing babies out of the river. There was nothing that we did not hear initially, but of course, that has changed now. People now know that it's science. There is nothing mystical about IVF. So those were the early things that we faced, and of course, I hate talking about power, because for even the barber who is going to set up a barber shop, power is a problem. So it cuts across everybody. When I want to talk about problem, I always want to talk about those that are peculiar to what we're doing. But of course, the cost to even us, for example, in Nordica, every of our clinic has their own transformer. Okay. In Ikoyi, for example, we have 3 generators. Each of our clinic has at least 2 or 3 generators. So you can see in Ikoyi, even Lekki, where we do IFU, has 2. In Asaba, we have 3. In Abuja, we have 3. In Surulere, we have 2. So calculate all those generators that were. So sometimes the cost of diesel sometimes wants to run you crazy in order for you to run the service. This is different from that you have solar, you have whatever to back you up, because this is a thing that power is so important to us, and every day we know the cost of what dollar is, because everything that we're buying is in foreign exchange, and it's a terrible business when you are earning naira and you are spending in foreign exchange. And those are the things that many people don't see. They say, oh, you guys collect this amount of money, but they don't know what goes into it if you want to do it properly. Okay, because for each naira that you collect, it's each euro is about 1,800 to $1 that one naira that you collect. So, and that's what you're going to use to buy all your consumables, everything, to the media that you're going to use, to the water that we use in the lab. We bring from the UK. So these are the things that we have to do in order to maintain the standard, because what we set out to do is that we want to be able to give you the kind of quality that you get in the UK, in the US, wherever, in Nigeria. And for you to do that, it takes a lot. And we've decided that we will never cut corners in the business. So those are some of the things that has also, and of course, now that with the JAPA thing, staffing has also become a big issue. To get decent young people now is a little bit more difficult than it used to be. Before, when people graduate, you get a good place to work. They just stay there 10 years, 5 years. But now, I even see some people who say I can't work in a place more than 2 years. I don't know why and how they came about that. So they keep moving from one place to the other. You can imagine you build somebody up, you join us, you don't know anything about what we're doing. It will take at least 6 months to get you to speed. And then you want to leave after 2 years, after 1 year. So what is the return on investment? Do you understand? So those are some of the things that we are facing. But of course, it is what it is. We have to live with it and be able to confront some of these problems and overcome them. Yep.
So, thank you very much, Charlie. You surely had the investors come in for trash. Was asked all the faith in choosing solutions in the as we start. So to I'm very loving. Hello, Drew.
Hello. Hey, Kim. Yes, so I'd like to ask, when you founded Nordica, what was the vision in your heart?
Wonderful question. It's still the same vision that I have till now. We're fulfilling it slightly, but UT is already answering you. To be the preferred assisted conception provider globally, it's a tall order, but and that's what. So that's the vision. See, the first thing was that we saw that there was a gap in healthcare. People were not listening to the patient enough. Then the doctor assumed so many things. It's different now. Okay, it's a lot different. And thanks to the Gen Zs who say their voice, you can't silence me. You can't make them not to talk, That's one good thing that you guys have done. So I think doctors too have known that they must listen. But then it was not, people were not, that was my own experience. I saw that doctors were not listening enough. They tended to even understand what was wrong with the patient more than the patient, him or herself. And so when we started Nordica, that's one of the things that we said, no, we must listen to our patients. Okay. And so we said, yes, we want to be the preferred assisted conception provider globally, but we must also not forget how to achieve it. Okay. That tender care is very important to our patients. And that part of it is you must listen to the patient. You know, when you listen to them, in fact, your job is half done. And so those are some of the values that we inculcated into Nordica, you know, and if you see, and then for us, our core values are team playing, you know, responsiveness, integrity, innovation, and confidentiality. Those are the things also. So we just didn't sit down in one place and form all these things. So in Nordica, we say that's the trick. So every member of staff knows what we call the trick, which is our core values. Okay. That's what we want to live by. Of course, it's always difficult, especially when you have new staff who probably have formed their own opinion about what they think workplace should be like. Either they work somewhere else, and that's why I don't like taking people who have worked somewhere else. Especially, I don't mean if you have worked in another IVF center. Sorry, I don't really like them because they have so many assumptions. You know, skill is one thing, attitude is another thing. Skill you can always add to anybody. You know, attitude is a very difficult thing to change. So now when you somebody who has poor attitude, has skills, that person is a more difficult person to live with. Do you understand? So those are some of the things that we still look out for. We have not changed what the vision of Nordica is. We are moving nearer to it, but we are not there yet. And we are abiding with our core values in order to be able to get to where we want to get to. So those things that guided us are still the things guiding us till now. Because of course, you know that work is not stationary. Some people will come and go, people will come and go, but your core values are supposed to be stationary. They are supposed to guide you in order for you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. It's still a long way to come for us to be the preferred globally, but it's something that we're working on.
Okay, quickly, let's have Henry before we move on to the set of questions in section 5. Henry, if you're there, let's go.
Why did you choose reproductive medicine? A field that helps create life.
Andy, now I can't hear you. Maybe you have to take up your camera too, just like if he has done. She's very audible now.
So you just switch off the camera and let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back today, what moment made you realize that the work you started had truly become something greater than yourself?
Let me start again. Did anybody get it?
Henry, you need to be audible.
Okay. Looking back today, what moment made you realize the work you started had truly become something greater than yourself?
Has become something that what?
Bigger than yourself.
Bigger than yourself.
Oh, from day one. I knew what I was starting was going to be bigger than me. I was the one who needed to even grow to be able to accommodate that. Okay, from day one. Okay, let me tell you a little story about this. Before I started Nordica at all, I'd been looking at companies in Nigeria. One thing that balked me was that many people start companies And once they die, the company dies. Okay. And this was not only even big companies, but even small companies like bakeries will die because the founder has died. And I started asking myself, why does this happen? And you see, and that's what made me to say, okay, let's start a clinic in Asaba. We started the Nordica in Lagos in 2003. By 2009, we went to Asaba, to see that it can run when I'm not there. Do you understand? Okay. So, and that's why we went to Asaba. And so Asaba has been running since 2009. Then after that, I looked for more trouble. I went to Abuja again in 2012 and set up in Abuja again because I wanted it to be that the clinic does not have to run just because I am there. Okay. Somebody still asked me a question last weekend and said, okay, if you're away for 3 months, do you think your clinic will run? I said maybe not 3 months yet, but I'm sure for 1 month, the clinic will run without me. Okay. So, because from day one, what I wanted a thing that will run whether I was there or whether I was not there. Okay. And I think it's gradually becoming, that dream is being fulfilled. Yes, it's the only reason why they will need me after 1 month is to pay salary. Do you understand? But I'm going to get to a stage where they don't even need me to pay salaries. You understand? So I think that is the idea. When you are starting a business, you should have the plan that the business can live without you, can survive without you. And that is what I think we're trying to achieve in Nordica. If I don't come to work for a week, nobody will even feel it. I think some people will even be happier that there is no wahala for them. So, but the business will not feel it.
So we're going straight to Zara now. We're moving into section 5, family life, the man behind the doctor. Zara, if you're there, let's hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
And
Good
the
evening.
Happy
fashion
birthday, Dr.
designer.
Ajayi. My question is, outside the hospital and clinic, who is Dr. Ajayi at home?
Ooh, who is Dr. Ajayi at home? Fantastic question. Ah, who am I at home? Well, family man, loves God, um, and ardent supporter of Arsenal Football Club. So I watch soccer a lot. So yeah, I think I try to play golf sometimes, but I am not. I'm not a. Uh, I'm still not. I'm not near Tiger Woods in any way. So and so yeah, I think I'll still. My golfing is still aspirational, but I think one day I'll be able to play golf easier because it takes a lot of time, and time is what I really don't have too much. Don't kid yourself. I'm not saying that I'm busy. Because I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I can do it for free. So I love what I'm doing. But yes, the golfing part is one thing I really want to improve on one day. I don't know when that one day will be. If my back is still good for it to bend, then I'll take that up. So yeah, I think I'm not so much of a talker outside the clinic. Seriously, normally a quiet person. I just like to do my own thing. and watch football and then spend time with my family. I mean, now all of them are grown, so it's only me and my wife that outside in the she has another family on the line, which tends to, and me, I will have my family too in the football club where we also meet. Arsenal must play, and I must watch. So yeah, but I think I'm so lucky that everything that in my life, if you listen to me, it's as if my life was, I can't say, it was as if my life was made for me. I don't know. I don't know if such a thing exists, but at the point I wanted to be a doctor, when I was to become a doctor, somebody told me, this is what you are supposed to be doing. By the time, and so when somebody also told me that story, I just laughed. Somebody has been telling me that story too recently, and I'm just laughing and laughing because I understand completely. When it was time for me to become a gynecologist, it was as if somebody told me to. When it was time for me to marry, it was as if somebody told me to, you know. And so that's how my life has just been structured all along. So I think there is no other thing. I'll just say it's the grace of God. And so don't. Uh, I think I'm preaching to the choir because I think the person I'm talking to already knows. So, so yeah, I think that's the thing. When you have that kind of thing, then you better just follow it. So what I do when something is not telling me to do anything, I'm not doing it. So, so I think that's who I am normally. I think I can. My wife is the exciting one. Me, I just, if not for herself, I don't think I won't do so many things. I don't like pictures. Now that I take pictures at gunpoint, I don't, I just like being myself. But now I know that Nordica has made me to lose. When I tell people that I'm a very shy person, they don't believe. I'm very, very shy. But Nordica has made me to lose the shyness. Uh, My wife also has made me to lose my fear for the camera. I mean, before it was as if you put a camera near me, it's like you're pointing a gun at me, you know, and I just freeze. But now I know how to smile, even if it's plastic. I know I enjoy myself now. I do photo shoot. Can you imagine? And I'm beginning to enjoy it. I think that's one other thing. I'm beginning to learn so many things about myself in my later stage. So I think, yeah, I'm just oh, uh, uh, okay. I'm seeing some very familiar names. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Zara, I'm not a fashion designer like you.
mm. Okay, so Doctor, you've answered quite a number of questions about what it is, who is Dr. Ajayi at home. You've also touched on the kind of support you got. You've talked about just this last part now about being a doctor responsible for lives and being a husband, a father, and a friend. You've talked about the influence that your wife has had on you, talking about what you're doing on social media, and of course, the club that you support. Let's move on to section 6, that's motivation. What drives Dr. Ajayi? We're looking at meaning and purpose for you. And Julian, it's your turn. Let's go.
Okay, so doctor, after so many years in fertility medicine, what still motivates you to keep going?
Yeah, thank you. I think one, there's still many infertile people out there. Okay, and so the job is not done. I don't think the job can ever even be done. And I don't understand that my hunger now is like the hunger I had in 2003. And that's why something like the fibroid treatment that we started could only start because of that hunger. So I'm still hungry for new things. When I see Nigeria, I see that the health sector is still a virgin to be explored. We are many years behind. And so there are opportunities that we need to explore in Nigeria. One should, even in 2026, there are not many good hospitals in Nigeria. And if you take Lagos and take Abuja, I don't know where there are many good hospitals again. I'm talking about, let's say, if we say we give star rating to hospitals like hotels, how many 5-star, if any, will you have in Nigeria? Do you understand? So there's still a lot to be done in Nigeria. Yes, the private sector have started doing a lot of things, but there's still a lot to be done. That I was just telling some of my people today that God is so great. When He gives you wisdom, He takes away your strength. When you have a lot of strength, you don't have wisdom. And that because He wants the wise and the strong to come together, so that they can build the nation together. So all this, we don't like old people, you are missing. The old people don't like young people. We are missing because you have the wisdom, they have the strength. And it is only when you come together that you can build the nation. So for me, that is what keeps me going, that can we see young people that we can still invest in so that Nigeria's future can be better. Because very little for me to do now, even with my best intentions. But I can have the ideas. I can see the opportunities. But I'll need a Julian to execute it. Many people are trying to wish me happy birthday, so my phone is... Yeah, so that's it.
Emmanuel. Okay, so we move on to Emmanuel. From Julian to Emmanuel, we're talking about what drives Dr. Ajayi. So Emanuela, if you're there, let's have your question.
My question is there a particular story that reminds you why this work matters?
Oh, many stories. Many stories. Many stories. I don't know whether they chose the people who asked the questions intentionally. I don't know. Many stories. Many years ago, you could not have quality IVF treatment in Nigeria. And I met a couple who had done 10 treatments abroad. That's one story. And they did one at Nordica and they succeeded. I'd met a couple too who similar story, had done many cycles abroad. And when she got pregnant, she was about 5'7", 8". No, yeah, maybe 5'2", 5'2", 5'3". And so when we told her that pregnancy test was positive, the next thing was she said she wanted to lift me up. 5'3", I'm about 6 feet. but it's not even my height, it's my weight that is the problem. So she wanted to attempt to lift me up. So I said, Madam, no, your back will break, you know. So please don't try to. So those are some of the things that you see and you say, you know what? We're doing something that is valuable to so many families. And is no matter what you face in trying to do it. And okay, look at this evening now. Okay. Is there anything that one can pay to have this kind of experience? Do you understand? Is there anything that you can pay to have this kind of experience? I'm so happy to talk to all of you. You're asking me questions that I can see immediately your level of intelligence, and that for me, it also tells me that it's a right thing to do. It's a good thing to do. It's worthwhile. No matter the wahala that you have to face to make this possible, it's better to continue to do it. Do you understand? So yeah, I think this is one evening that is difficult to forget. You know, it's a different thing when you have kids around you. They're just playing but it's another thing. It's another level when they are now young adults. And yeah. And the other day that we were doing our anniversary, and uh, Julian was 21, and we had pictures together. It was also very, for me, it showed that it was worthwhile, that all the wahala was worthwhile. If we can have, he's taller than me now, so, so it's a great feeling to have. And I can't exchange it for anything else. So yeah, I think we're doing a good thing, and it's worthwhile to go through the trouble to do this.
All right, we'll move straight to section 8, where we have advice to Nordica. I want to call them Nordica bundles of joy. And this is the emotional, this is where we get to speak our mind. Let's just talk to Dr. Ajayi. And of course, Utibe, it's your turn now. Let's hear you.
Okay, sir. So many of us sitting here today, we're living proof of your work. What does that mean to you personally?
What does it mean to me personally? I don't think of it that way. Yes, it is true, but I don't think of it that way. I think of it as, like I said earlier on, I think of it as a great responsibility. Even from the get-go, I knew that it was a great responsibility. I tell people who work with me that this is not, what we're doing is not about money. It's a calling. And it's either you have it or you don't have it. Okay. And when you have it, you know that it's a responsibility that the Almighty has conferred on you. One of the doctor does one of the parts of the ministry of Jesus when I was there on earth. But when you are now into reproduction, that's a great responsibility. So I see it more as a responsibility, and that what I pray to God is that He should give us the strength to be able to do more, and to also make sure that we don't tamper with the integrity of the work. Because one day, finally, we are going to start. Everyone is going to stand to give account of what they've done. It should not be because of this work that you will not be able to stand before God, because of the responsibility He has given you if you have abused it. Do you understand what I mean? So for me, I see it as a responsibility more than something to have chip on your shoulders about it. No, it's more of a responsibility.
Okay,
Does that?
so we're
Yeah.
going to do a little something here, this section 8. Utibe, thank you for that question. Julian, I want you to go with your question. Emanuela, you follow. And Henry. Dr. Ajayi, if you have a pen, it would be nice for you to take the 3 questions so that you can respond to them at the same time. So Julian, if you're ready, you go ahead. Emanuela follows and Henry. Let's go.
Okay. What advice would you give to us as we navigate our own lives and careers?
Emanuela?
What values do you hope we carry into the world?
Henry?
What would make you most proud when you look at the next generation of Nordica babies?
That was not clear. I heard the first 2.
What would make you most proud when you look at the next generation of Nordica babies?
Okay. All right. Advice to you as you go into navigate lives and careers. I think I'll try to say some of that along the line. Please develop yourself. The only thing that cannot, even if there is a war, okay, the only thing that cannot be taken away from you, it's what you have put into yourself. You know, the only thing that cannot be devalued is what you have put into yourself. So you need to develop yourself. Please do not join the rat race. That rat race never ends. It's going to be there. The only way you can run it properly, even if you want to run the rat race, is when you are well developed. Okay. So don't be in a hurry. You are going to live 80 years or whatever, or 100 or whatever. So please, the first 25, 20 years of your life, make them count. 30 years of your life, make them count. Develop yourself. So, and once you do that, I think whatever careers that you choose, you'll be sound in whatever you're doing. And you'll be able to use that for the rest of your life. So imagine if you took 30 years to invest if you live for 80 years, that means the next 50 years, you are going to be enjoying the sacrifice you made for the first 30 years. So I don't think you should be in a hurry. So, and values to carry into the world. It's becoming very tough now, but you know something that always wins is integrity. When people don't even like you, when they know you have integrity, they might not like you, but they will respect you. Let your word be your bond. So it's very, very important. And hard work does not kill. I've never seen anybody who died from hard work. It's idleness that kills. Hard work does not kill. So work hard. Let your word be your bond. And fear God. God is real. Oh. Don't let anybody deceive you. God is real. What will make us proud when we look at the next generation of Nordica babies? Yes, if you uh, fulfill God's plan for your lives, yes. I don't think God planned anybody to be Yahoo Yahoo. You know, you only become Yahoo Yahoo here. Nobody was planned to be Yahoo Yahoo. So please, whatever you want to, Zara has chosen to be fashion designer, for example. Yeah, fantastic. Lucy has chosen to be embryologist. Fine, fantastic. So, but whatever you do, make sure you excel in it, and that's it. But do not copy other people. You are an original made by God. I tell people that most of the time is that they don't know purpose. That's why they are trying to copy other people. When you know why God created you, what he created you for, you don't need to copy any other person. And tell you what, God tells everybody what he has created him for or her. It's that we don't listen sometimes. So what will make me proud is that you become the best of whatever you. I know Henry is an engineer. So yeah, Emmanuel is likely to become an engineer too. His dad is an engineer. So yeah. So that's it. Just make sure that you are the best in whatever. You become the best version of yourself. Even if you're a businessman, like Julian says he's going to be a businessman, just be the best version of yourself. That's all. That's all. And it's okay. Yeah.
All right. As we coast home, we're going into the closing reflection now. And it will be for Andrew to ask a question and Zara. And you're going to do it. Andrew, as you're done, Zara, you ask yours. Dr. Ajayi, please take note.
So I would like to ask if you could leave one message for every parent who conceived or are trying to conceive through fertility treatment, what would it be?
All right, Zara.
Okay.
Zara, let's go.
And my question is, when people hope they say about you, this work many years from now, what do you hope they say about you?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes. Statement to people trying to conceive. Yeah, what I'll say is that, Nigeria has changed drastically, whether we like it or not. Assisted conception is one of those places in Nigeria that we have really made good improvements. But that as it may, we have many clinics, but not all clinics are the same. So if you are going to do anything, it's better that you do your homework first and choose a clinic where you are comfortable with them. Because IVF involves a lot of trust. What I say to people, you have never seen the egg. Have you ever seen an egg before? Have you ever seen the sperm before? The truth is that you have not. So it's important that you choose a clinic where you can trust. And that means when people sometimes come on the phone and all they're interested is how much is IVF in your clinic. For me, I don't think that's a good way to be able to choose a clinic. It's not a price thing. It's not a cost thing, direct cost, for example. Is that you go and talk to the people and see that there are people that you are comfortable with. Almost, let's say, if you do enough of cycles, one of the things that many people also think, if they do only one cycle, they will succeed. Maybe not. If you do enough cycles, about 75, 80% to, if not 90% of our patients will be able to get a baby. Okay. So just go to the place that you are comfortable with, where they have pedigree and they can help you with every stage of your treatment. So that's what I say to anybody who's trying to conceive. But there is hope. You can get pregnant. There is no doubt about that. And there's so many methods now that have been introduced, depending on the problem that we're treating. So, yeah, there's hope that you'll be able to conceive, especially if you are talking to the right set of people. Then Zara asked me what people will say about me when I'm gone. Yes. You know what I want to be remembered for is very simple. I want to be remembered as a doctor who built structures. So leadership, that's why leadership is so important to me, that you must develop leaders. So training people must be very important to you, because and you cannot contest with the people you are training. Tell you what, when you are a trainer, some of the people you are training might even be better than you. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is that you have multiplied yourself. In fact, you should be happier when you can see one or two of them that are better than you, because it means that you have succeeded in multiplying, and you now even have a better version of yourself. That's a great thing to have, you know. But it's also something that you need to learn how to deal with, that you don't kill the talents that you have produced yourself out of insecurity. So I just want to be remembered as somebody who has been able to build structures. And that means also, from one of the questions that you asked, I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave something that will outlast me. And so that's why structures will be very important to me. Training the next generation of people will be important to me. And that's why, for instance, I train young doctors that I don't know before. They don't work for me. They don't do anything. They're just young doctors. So that's why we have the physician mentoring program, where we bring young doctors together and we train them on leadership, on financial literacy, on emotional intelligence, because it's those soft skills that differentiate you. There will be many engineers, there will be many embryologists, but what we differentiate, there will be many nurses, but what we differentiate one from the other are those soft skills, you know. So those are the things that I want to impact on the next generation, so that you are different. You'll be happy that you have ever come across me by the time I'm gone, or by the time you even leave me, you know. So that's what I just want to be remembered for. Okay.
Julian, as we round off this interview session, it will be time for you to wrap it up for us. Julian, if you're ready.
Okay. Dr. Ajayi, many people know you as a fertility specialist, but to us, you're something more, a part of the story of how our lives began. I want to say thank you very much and happy birthday once again.
Okay, so don't go off yet. We will have to sing, or you will have to sing a happy birthday song for Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, as he has one more year to his life, his age as it is. So if you're ready, all of you, happy birthday from your heart. Let's do that song for him. Please unmute all my co-hosts, please, so that they can do the happy birthday song for Dr. Ajayi. Are we ready? Julian, please lead.
Sorry, come again.
Perfect. We're going to sing a happy birthday song for Dr. Ajayi. That's all of you who have interviewed him tonight. Let's do a happy birthday song for him as we round off. Did you get that? Did you hear me, Julian? Hello? Zara, did you hear me? Andrew, did you
Yes, I
hear
can hear
me?
you.
Yes, I heard you.
So let's do a happy birthday song for Dr. Ajayi.
Oh.
Chile, you can lead us.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to you.
Happy birthday, happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday. Happy
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 birthday
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 to
to
you.
you.
May
May
the
the
good
good Lord
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 bless you.
bless
bless you.
you.
May
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 the
the
good
good
Lord
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 bless
bless
you.
you.
May the
May the
good
good Lord bless you. Dr. Ajayi. May the
May the
good
good
Lord
Lord bless you.
bless you.
birthday, Grandpa.
Oh,
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
thank you,
happy
thank you so
birthday.
much.
Thank
Thank,
you.
thank
Thank
you,
you, Friday.
thank you
I'm
so
hoping that,
much.
yes, Doctor. I'm just hoping that the next time everybody will be together live so that we can truly celebrate you. A big thank you to our amazing Dr. Abayomi Ajayi for sharing powerful insights during this interview. It was amazing to hear these ladies and gentlemen, express themselves, talk about what it's been for them, and also hear what it is for you, for helping them, come into the world. Your knowledge truly inspired all of us, and I want to say thank you for trusting me to handle this. Thank you, everyone. It was nice meeting you here, even though on the webinar. I'm hoping we'll get to do this in some years to come again. Have a wonderful evening. Good
Thank
night.
you. Night. Thank
Good
you so
night.
much.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night,
night,
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Happy
everyone.
birthday once again, Dr. Ajayi.
Thank you so much. Thanks.